What's up, guys? Welcome to the Cage Talk Podcast. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. We have our first guest that we've ever had on the show. His name is Spencer Stockton. He's one of my teammates from JU. Played with him, lived with him. He's been through a lot to get to where he's at now. So I want to bring him on the show just so he can kind of explain his story and where he's come from. He's been a loyal follower of the show since day one. So everybody, Spencer, welcome.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being on with us, man. So I want everybody to get a feel for you, right? So just give us a little bit of background, who you are, where you come from, and what you've been through to get to where you're at right now.
Yeah, man. So just grew up in West Palm Beach, Florida, which is a great spot to grow up. Coming out of high school, JU was the only offer on the table, the only legitimate offer. And, I got a pretty good feel for the school. I really liked Coach Hayes and Coach Jay at the time when he was coaching there. So just, one offer kind of had to take it, right? But
I had the same situation too.
Yeah, it was a great decision. And, growing up played a lot of sports, so it was relatively athletic. It just came from like a really good supportive family and almost everyone in the family's played some sort of sport at some sort of level. So there's a lot of guidance there, despite at times looking like I had no guidance on the field. Went to JU and really just had like an up and down career in college. Personally speaking, I know the accolades and maybe some of the numbers speak otherwise, but for me, it was always, and it's part of my personality, but like at the end of the year, I was like, I don't think I'm that good. And, so much more room to get better. I always thought I was like missing one or two things and was never like the complete package. And it's, like I said, it's a double-edged sword because it's good because it keeps you working and keeps you modest. And I think that's helped instill like a good work ethic, which about.
Definitely.
Firsthand have it. But then it's bad because you want to be confident and you want to be, you know that you're good and know that you're good enough to compete at whatever level. And at times I definitely struggled with that. So,
right. So take me through, you had an up and down career. You had the accolades though, like the outside validation is there. You've gotten awards, you've gotten these things. Just like I think the rest of us who go into the year as seniors who want to get drafted, like not that you expect to, but at the end of the day, like you expect to perform and get drafted. For you, it didn't happen right away. So take me through the year between college and then getting picked up by the Reds. Because that to me is my favorite part of your story. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, so it was it kind of starts in my senior year at JU where I probably had the best summer leading up to the year I've ever had, where I got right physically and I got right mentally.
And who do you work out with again?
Pressy Sport Performance. But it was more just like being home and I pitched a little bit in a league down here and I just tweaked some things and it was just, just some stuff upstairs really mentally that cleaned up. And I think I had the best fall I've ever had that year, my senior year, just threw the ball well. And teams started to get a little more interested. And we were talking to teams and I mean, senior sign, you're not going to be, number 1, 2, or 3, but definitely some interest. And that was awesome. And then the thumb injury happened, probably the worst time it could possibly happen.
Can you give the viewers a breakdown of that? Because I don't think we've ever had anybody tell that story before.
Yeah, just the volleyball and being competitive and living and dying by every single point.
Right.
I just made a very stupid decision to try to block a spike and not knowing how to do that.
And this is a couple weeks before our season opener?
Weeks before season opener, yeah. So that was tough, but I think that helped me grow a lot. Like those 6 or 7 weeks where I wasn't playing and just sitting there and watching because I thought I was done the moment it happened. I was like, that's it, my career is done. No team's gonna the guy with a thumb on the wrong side of his hand. But I was just able to compete through that, and I think to this day, if I can pitch through that, there's not much that's gonna tricked me up. So, but yeah, the draft came and went, and that was pretty depressing.
Yes.
It is what it is, and I got lucky because that whole year, it was 11 months where I wasn't on a team, or I wasn't pitching in games or whatever. I was just training and working out and lifting.
Right.
Even when I went out to any ball, I had like this amazing support system of family and friends. And, when you have like your mom or your dad or some of your significant other that wants you to succeed more than maybe even arguably you want to succeed.
I get that.
Tough. And for me, my mom had never, ever stopped telling me, like, there's a team is going to take a chance. Like, you are going to get your opportunity. When you get it, you have to do well. And, for years she would say that. And there were times I'd be like, oh, whatever, like, you don't know what you're talking about. And she probably did, but she kept saying, so, I started to believe it. And then, the person I was with at the time, her and her family were just, so supportive, and they would do anything that I needed, or if I ever needed anything, they would, the drop of a hat, they were there for me. And, I had friends that were like that as well. And like, when all that collectively comes together, you stop doing something for yourself and you start doing it for other people. And I think that's when I kind of turned a corner, and I wasn't bitter anymore about the draft, and I wasn't upset that I didn't get signed after my pro day. It was more like, all right, I'm just going to have to, take the longer road. And that's what it became. And so the draft was in May or June, and I didn't pitch again in the game until May, first week in May in Indy Ball in Michigan.
Yeah.
And then I was out there for about 2 months, just over 2 months. And I threw in the All-Star game, and the Reds were there, and I guess they liked what they saw. And the rest is kind of history from that point on.
It's such a cool story, man, just because you always hear about guys that don't get picked up their senior year. They go and play indie ball, and for a select few, it pans out, right? But for a lot of them, it's just not the reality. It just doesn't happen. So whenever you see stories, and especially for me, because I know you so personally, having that story it's so cool just to look back and see. But now that you're in, right, we're in the minor leagues, everything's good. You had an awesome first year. I'm sure you were back in Cressy working, throwing, getting prepped for the next year, and then the Corona stuff happens. Everything gets shut down. We're all back. We're all just sitting at home doing nothing. We just want to play. And the MLB and the MLBPA have to sit down and they have to hash it out before we have a chance to do that. So I'm sure you're an informed guy. You're a very intelligent guy. I'm sure you're informed and up to date on everything that's going on. So just give me your take and your perspective and your thoughts on this upcoming season, if there's going to be one.
Yeah. So, for us, if we're going to have a season or not, it's just the longer things get pushed back and the longer negotiations continue to happen, I think the less likely we play.
Right.
I think there's going to be some sort of instructional league or something like that where, I don't think we won't play again or we won't be together again until spring training next year. I think there's definitely going to be something going on in the fall when everything clears up. But I just think it's a bad look on both parties for baseball. You have the billionaire owners fighting with the millionaire players.
Yeah.
And I don't think like the animosity started because of the coronavirus. I think it's been working its way up, and this is kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, where the CBA is up, I think, at the end of 2021, and that's
next year.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge deal. And I just look, I understand it from a fiscal perspective. Financially, the owners, they want to cut expenses, and if they're not going to have enough revenue, I mean, their job is to make money.
Right.
They've job to own a major league franchise, so they're not going to stop there. I think that's why we've seen all the minor league cuts. They don't want to pay $1.5 million to guys who aren't playing. So yeah. I completely understand it. I think it's terrible because you're cutting guys who aren't having an opportunity to play. And I mean, if I got cut or you got cut, it would I would have a terrible taste in my mouth because, if I'm injured or if I have a bad season, all right, I get it. Maybe it's not in the cards for it. But if I get cut without having to play, I mean, I don't know how you swallow that. That's going to be a really bad bruise for a while. So
I think that's where everybody's pretty much at with it, right? I think that everybody kind of understands the responsibility of the owners to kind of make money, but at the same time, it's you feel for the little guys, you know what I mean? You feel for the guys who never got their fair shake. You feel for the guys who don't get paid for 5 or 6 months out of the year, right? And then all of a sudden they have their opportunity to go get paid, and then they have it taken from them. So I think it's a very sensitive area for, especially the people within the baseball world, for sure. And then I think, honestly, as unfortunate as it is, it might be a good thing because it's kind of something that's being brought to the forefront of social media. You're seeing people exchanging on it, and there's people that are outside the game now who are kind of being more informed on the culture and how the minor league guys are treated. And maybe that'll help advance that a little bit.
Yeah, you hope so, man. Especially in today's day and age, it doesn't take much to bring a crappy situation to the forefront of social media. So, fingers crossed. Then again, like before all this coronavirus stuff happened, I think the whole minor league situation, the mistreatment of minor league players had kind of reared its head a little bit, and the response by MLB and the owners was, all right, we'll just cut 42 teams. And, that's going to be 1,300 guys out of a job, but financially it makes sense. Like after being in the system for, the 2 months I was there, I can honestly say that, if you have 250 minor leaguers, not all 250 are going. Like I can tell you right now, 250 are not going to the big leagues. Like, 100% certain that. Right. There's a very small percentage. Let's say 70. That'd be a very big number. 70 guys out of 250. But so they want to cut guys and the cut teams. Well, they're going to use those cuts to pay the guys more. But are they really paying guys more? No, they're just using the leftover money. So, I mean, they're owners for a reason, man. They made all that money for a reason.
I guess we'll see. We'll see when it gets renegotiated in the CBA and there's 42 less teams, and we'll see if there's any more money that kind of trickles down to the lower levels. I feel like I'm just skeptical about it because I haven't seen any reason to maybe believe that there's going to be more money at the bottom. Yeah. And then I'm talking about thousands of dollars. I'm talking about maybe $100 a week. You know what I mean? Difference. But it's just the reality of it, man. And it's hard for me because I was talking to Pops about this the other day. You feel powerless in the ability to change the circumstance. Like you're just stuck.
You can't, like, as baseball players and really as athletes, but you try to control what you can control. And in this situation, you can't control anything, man. The only thing you can, what you're doing at home. And I mean, even, for a while, that was almost nothing. So,
yeah. But I mean, that's all I have for you. If you have anything else you want to say, anything else you want to add, I know we talk a lot about the mental side of the game and the mental things that we go through as baseball players and just as men. And that's why I wanted you to be the first one to come on, because I've seen it with you and you've seen it with me playing together and living together for a couple of years, and then having to go through all of the minor league stuff and then continuing to talk. It was something that I wanted you to be able to speak about. So thank you for joining us. And anything else you want to add, you can go ahead and say.
Oh man, that's it. Big fan, and keep listening.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. We're going to try to get this going. We're going to try to have episodes come out and then bring somebody on the show to talk about it, just to get some more perspectives on the show, get some more fan interaction. But for us, that's all we got. Thank you guys for listening.